Wow, what a day in the Big Apple. The sun was out. The trees have yet to start budding, but spring was in the air here at the Big A on this penultimate Saturday card of the meet. Glad you're with us. Hope you're doing all right out there on MSG Plus. It's Jason Blewitt. Richard Migliore is alongside, and we are locked and loaded from the gate. Second floor Clubhouse Studios on a day, Mig. The place was buzzing.
It really was, and some good races. I mean, we had a small select group in the distaff, but I thought the turf racing was just sensational today. A lot of exciting finishes.
Fast and firm. We utilized the grass course today with 4 turf races, and we'll keep everybody up to speed as this show progresses about what transpired with Larry Colmus up in the booth. He had a few close finishes and tight finishes to call, but we begin, and no surprise, 14 days out from the May 2nd Kentucky Derby with the 3-year-old picture, and some of the biggest names in the Derby field, or likely to be in the Derby field, had time workouts this morning. Perhaps none more important than Dortmund and Firing Line, who both stretched their legs this morning out in Southern California.
Yeah, and Dortmund and Firing Line have been playing kind of affirmed in Aladar, and Firing Line looks like Aladar when he gets away from Dortmund. But Dortmund fired a bullet, 58 and change, galloped out 3/4 in 10. He's a big horse. That's a pretty fast work. What should be his penultimate work for the Kentucky Derby. So maybe they got all the heavy lifting out of the way, and now they can give him just a maintenance work into the Derby.
Right, he'll have that breeze next Saturday at Santa Anita, and then it's on to a plane bound for Kentucky, and that'll be the work schedule as well for Firing Line, his arch nemesis. They put on quite a few shows. It began last December at Los Al, and it continued in the Bob Lewis back in February. Firing Line, who had Hall of Famer Gary Stevens aboard, just can't beat an outfinished Dortmund, but he got an okay breeze today for trainer Simon Callahan.
Yeah, I like the work. At 58 sounds a little fast for me, although he's talented. A minute and change sounds about right for Firing Line. Gary Stevens was in the saddle this morning, and I know Gary was very critical of himself after that race in the Lewis when he thought he moved too early. I actually thought tactically he took every advantage trying to kind of pull the rug on Dortmund. Dortmund just showed he's a very tough horse to fight back on the rail.
And speaking of tough, they'll all have trainer Todd Pletcher to contend with, who as it stands may have as many as 5 horses in the run for the Roses. Carpe Diem, though, the barn's big dirt horse. Multiple Grade 1 winner at Keeneland. Recent winner of the Breeders' Futurity, which we're looking at. And he, in fact, breezed today at Keeneland a half with Hall of Famer Johnny V aboard.
Yeah, half in 48. Typical of what Todd Pletcher does with his horses. Kind of going every 1/8 or every furlong in 12 seconds. Carpe Diem, he's ready. He's just wanting to keep him right where he is, but he needs to take a step forward. I know that's how you believe, and that's what I believe.
Yeah, he needs to run faster, any way you slice it. And we'll see what direction John Velasquez goes, because that was one of the post-work comments asked, or questions posed to trainer Todd Pletcher. Who do you think John Velasquez will ride? Is it Carpe Diem or Materiality, the Florida Derby winner, who down at Palm Beach Downs today went 5/8 in a minute and 2?
Materiality, obviously super talented, wins the Florida Derby in his 3rd start, beating a good horse in Upstart. But, you know, if you're Johnny Velasquez and Angel Cordero's agent, you don't want to commit until you absolutely have to, because horses are like strawberries. They can go bad overnight. You don't want to commit to Carpe Diem, and God forbid he comes up with a little problem, and then Todd's already put maybe Javier Castellano or somebody else on Materiality, and then he can't bounce them off to put Johnny back on. So you want to keep as many eggs in one basket for as long as you possibly can.
And when you're John Velasquez and Angel Cordero, your success and the fact that you're in such high demand, I guess, affords you the opportunity to wait as long as anybody would expect you to wait. Because I've got to think with the regular rider per se, most owners would say, I need an answer now, because if you're not riding my horse, I want a rider as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. And you know what? He's earned that kind of respect and the ability to do that. That being said, Todd Pletcher and he have such a great relationship. And then you know that he uses Javier Castellano as much, if not more, than Johnny. So I think whichever way Johnny goes, he's probably already got Javier backing him up in either spot.
And Javier's still looking for his first Kentucky Derby victory. He's got a Preakness win to his credit aboard Bernardini a few years back, I think 2006. Now, Miguel Mena is a rider that has never tasted victory in a Triple Crown race. He will be aboard a very likable, workmanlike New York bred by the name of International Star as we get into Saturday's Derby Dozen. Went 3 for 3, International Star did over the wintertime at Fairgrounds, and this is just a little forgotten horse who keeps finding more.
Well, I think he's forgotten just for the simple reason, kind of like Carpe Diem, he hasn't run particularly fast. So that's the negative. The positive, Jason, is this horse has done everything right as a 3-year-old. He's won from off the pace. He's won laying a little bit closer. He's rallied through tight spots. He's shown a lot of intestinal fortitude. There's nothing but good things you can say about this horse. And the way the Kentucky Derby is run, you want a horse that can come through traffic. And he's shown that ability, and a horse that can make multiple runs. And he's shown that ability, too. So there's a lot to like about him. The negative, of course, is going back to the same thing with Carpe Diem. You'd like to see him step up and give you that big, fast race that you can go, yes, he's fast enough. But maybe they'll do that on the right day.
Maybe he will. For Mike Maker, who's done a great job over the years, quietly getting to the Derby, it seems, one year after another with either homebreds like Hansen or modest yearling or 2-year-old purchases like General A-Rod, Vickers in Trouble, and now you can add International Star to the list, who, by the way, breezed 5/8 today with Maina aboard in Kentucky in 101 and 4.
And he galloped out 3/4 in 15. And he's not a real big horse. I wouldn't expect them to do a tremendous amount of work with him because you don't want to tear him down at this point. You want to continually build him up. And just for the record, Miguel Mena, I heard somebody referring to him as Mig. I'm sorry, there's only one Mig. You can call him Meanie or Mena, but I'm the one who got Miggy with it.
And we're getting Miggy with it right now as we get on to a race. You won 4 times. Aqueduct's featured Distaff. It's the 61st running, and no, Mig didn't win the inaugural edition or the second edition. Just a few years ago, we've got Larry Comas with the field of 4, and most eyes are on La Verdad.
Comes out running, opens up right away to lead a length and a half. Air of Distinction on the outside. Frivolity and Mamduha are right behind La Verdad, who leads the field up the backstretch. He was quick out of the gate, and now the lead is an Eck. And Air of Distinction's going to put some pressure on, and now Air of Distinction draws even, and La Verdad is down on her inside. It's 2 lengths more back to Frivolity and Mamduha, and they're side by side, 3rd and 4th after a 22-1 opening quarter mile. So La Verdad gets an early test here and leads the way a half a length. Now getting away. La Verdad getting away from Air of Distinction, who is back running in second and bearing out on the turn. Then comes Mamduha and Frivolity on the inside. They're coming to the top of the stretch, and it's La Verdad in front. Air of Distinction is bolted at the top of the lane. La Verdad has run 44 and 4 for a half and leads the way by 4. Then Frivolity and Mamduha, and Air of Distinction is on the far outside. It is La Verdad in front by 4 at the 16th pole. Mamduha, Frivolity, and Air of Distinction can't handle the truth. It's La Verdad in the distaff. And then it was Frivolity and Mamduha.
Nothing farcical about La Verdad, the New York-bred filly who just brings it. In fact, she's a mare now. This is her 5-year-old debut, and boy, oh boy, she has set the bar high, and she did not disappoint.
No, she did not disappoint, and she looked like she laid over this field on paper, although she did get some pressure early from Air of Distinction. The fractions were more than legitimate. They were quick, but she was good, and she looked good in the paddock. I mean, she's had a little more flesh than we've seen on her in the past, but you would expect that off the layoff.
Ready to go for Linda Rice, who does a great job and caught up with the MIG moments after taking a second consecutive distaff.
Linda La Verdad, very impressive. Were you concerned when you saw the pressure that was being put on her by Air of Distinction and the 44 and change half?
I was. I mean, obviously she's a fast filly, but she's had a pretty good break, coming off a layoff, and I was a little bit concerned about her being tight enough. I knew that Karen McLaughlin's filly was a nice closer and had a pretty nice record of her own. So I was a little concerned when I saw the fractions, but she made it look pretty easy.
She really did. Do you think she actually can improve off of this run?
I do. Oh, yes, definitely. Because I barely had her fit enough, where I was comfortable running her today. So I think she got a well-deserved vacation that she needed, and I'm hoping she comes back stronger this year than she was last.
And if she comes out of the race good, any idea where you might show up next?
The next graded stake in New York is our probable spot. But we'll look things over.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Richie.
Belmont Park right around the corner. La Verdad has put up some big numbers over Big Sandy, and the vagrancy on Preakness Day at beautiful Belmont, May 16th, a Saturday, 4 weeks out, would seem, and Linda noted it, the next logical spot for La Verdad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's always a tough question. You have to ask the question because you kind of want an idea for people to know where a horse like this may be going next. But it's not really a question that has any absolution because they have to see how they come out of the race, how they eat up afterwards, how much it knocked them down. But that would seem to be the most logical next step.
Getting close to $900,000 in career earnings, La Verdad, just terrific today. And we've got a lot more action coming your way, some highlights in the Pick 5, and plenty of turf with Larry C. in the booth. Stay tuned. Eight miles east, but a world apart. Beautiful Belmont Park. We begin a new chapter at the Taj Mahal of North American racing. That mile-and-a-half main track, the two world-class turf horses. All the stars come out in the stands on the track. Third leg of the Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes. What are we? We are 7 weeks out from Belmont Stakes Day 147. Far less, though, and much less time to wait, that is, Wednesday, April 29th is opening day.
Yeah, we're rushing towards opening day. It really seems like now it's going very fast. We kind of climbed up that hill all winter, and now we hit the top of that roller coaster, and now we're just cruising down towards Belmont Park.
6 full cards remain here at Aqueduct. One of them commences tomorrow at 1:20 p.m., but for now, let's get back to the Saturday action. Race number 3, third leg of Saturday's Pick 5. We are on the turf. Chad Brown's got the horse to beat in Market Outlook, and we go back to Larry Colmus.
It was a good start. Speeding Comet, Market Outlook, and on the inside, Peaceful Talk. And they're joined by English Minister on the far outside. And then it's See No More, who is second last, but moving through an opening at the rail. And now to be in mid-pack. The trailer is Orino, who is 6.5 lengths off of the front runner, Peaceful Talk, who heads them into the first turn. Peaceful Talk, the leader, by a length and a half over Market Outlook, and English Minister on the outside. Heads apart second and third through a 25 and 1 opening quarter mile. And then comes Speeding Comet fourth on the outside. Tight spot there for See No More, who's in traffic between horses, and the trailer is Orino. So the field continues their journey up the backstretch here with Peaceful Talk and Angel Cruise out in front, almost a length. English Minister on the outside second. Behind them, Market Outlook is third at the rail. They went a half in 50 and 2/5 seconds. Speeding Comet follows fourth by 2, and then comes Orino and See No More. Into the turn, Peaceful Talk, 3/4 of a length in front. English Minister edges up alongside, now within a neck of the front runner. And Market Outlook gets going, and Market Outlook guided just behind the leaders, trying to save some ground and switch to the outside when they turn for home. They're into the stretch, Peaceful Talk. Right alongside is English Minister. And on the outside, Market Outlook still with work to do. Into the final furlong, Peaceful Talk on the inside. Market Outlook's coming now. Market Outlook storms to the front and is pulling away late from Peaceful Talk and English Minister. Then Speeding Comet. Market Outlook will win it. Second, close, maybe English Minister over Speeding Comet, and Peaceful Talk was fourth.
Had to be a good feeling for Irod Ortiz Jr. at this point. He's got the horse Market Outlook, the big favorite, 3 wide, 4 wide, and you could just see him slowly but surely getting his legs beneath him.
Yeah, and once he kind of got out from behind horses and his legs started to unwind, you knew it was basically over. I told Irad earlier today that I was going to get him a set of blinkers for as much as he's looking back. And, I mean, we know how good he is. We know how talented he is. That's, to me, the one flaw he has right now is he just looks back too much. Things don't change in 2 strides. You don't need to look back 20 times a race.
Chad Brown, the winning trainer. I'm sure Chad fixed upon a television set with the simulcast feed at Keeneland. He's racking up wins left and right, and the winner is a 5-year-old by a Belmont and Travers hero in Lemon Drop Kid. Maybe he's set to make up for some lost time. Layoffs have been a big problem with Market Outlook, but he definitely has talent, as does the crew in today's co-featured 5th race, the $100,000 first running of the Woodhaven, as we go back to Larry.
They're racing in the Woodhaven. Vision Perfect is going out to take the early lead. Made in Detroit on the inside, away running in second. Then it's Xandar in third. Chief Kitten and A Campari will do their running later. They're 5 lengths off the lead as Made in Detroit will set the pace with 1 lap to go. Vision Perfect is 3/4 of a length behind. Second by 2. Zandar is third. A Campari goes up on the outside fourth, while Chief Kitten will sit at the rail and save all the ground into the first turn. And a wide run there for A Campari, who now tries to angle in and save a bit of more ground. 24-4 was the opening quarter, so they'll go to the backstretch in pursuit of Made in Detroit, who leads 3/4 of a length. Vision Perfect putting the pressure on, second on the outside by 2. And then comes Zandar, Chief Kitten on the inside, and A Campari alongside of them. And now A Campari goes up 2 spots and takes third up the backstretch, less than 2 lengths off the lead after an easy 50 3/2 mile. The field continues toward the far turn. Made in Detroit and Junior Alvarado have the lead, and they've been in front all the way so far. Vision Perfect is second on the outside. A Campari is in third. Zandar is fourth. And then Chief Kitten on the inside. A tight pack heads around the far turn, and Vision Perfect heads Made in Detroit. Vision Perfect on the outside. Made in Detroit. A Campari is next. In between horses, Zandar and Chief Kitten on the inside, and they're into the stretch. And it is Vision Perfect. Vision Perfect into the final furlong. Made in Detroit fights on from the inside. Chief Kitten's coming up the rail. A Campari is fourth on the far outside. Made in Detroit battles on. Vision Perfect. A Campari is taken third. Chief Kitten fourth. It's Vision Perfect and Made in Detroit. Vision Perfect has won it over Made in Detroit. Chief Kitten was third.
Vision Perfect was perfect in his seasonal debut. First start since closing week of the fall meet last autumn at Belmont Park. Very game horse, outrunning Made in Detroit.
Very game horse, because he and Made in Detroit were running through the stretch. These two colts were throwing it down. And you know what? You clued insider fans into this just the other day. How David Donk, off the layoff, on the grass at Aqueduct, gets it done. So if you were watching us and paying attention to what Jason said, you could watch and wager on Naira Rewards.
And Naira.com.
Naira.com.
One-stop shopping.
Yeah.
The new sleek 21st century look on Naira.com. Check it out. Streamlined, very user-friendly. You'll have some new fun. Multiple HD streaming, camera angles, all good over at Naira.com, as is the case with David Donk and his Aqueduct turf horses. And here's a classic sort of architect in the Woody Stevens sort of frame of mind.
Oh, absolutely. It seems like his horses get better with racing, get better with age, much like Woody's horses did, and the ability to get a horse ready off a layoff. And David Donk comes from that Woody Stevens school. Never discount him, particularly on the turf.
And he had a few live horses in on today's card, as did Chad Brown. And Larry Coleman sounding pretty good up in the booth. So here we go. 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9 off the Big A quarter pole.
Last throughout, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. Howie's Tiz runs up and takes the lead after a 46 1/2 mile. And it's Howie's Tiz in front with a furlong to go. Salem Loop trying to close the gap on the far outside. These two to the 16th pole. Howie's Tiz, Salem Loop coming. Howie's Tiz, Salem Loop. Howie's Tiz inside, Salem Loop outside. The two of them down to the wire. Howie's Tiz, welcome back. Salem Loop was second best, and then came Dominic Smile. And it is on the far outside, Qui C'est Moi, who rushes up to take the lead now. Qui C'est Moi to the front. Sky Colors, Kodiak Cody to the outside. Then Boss Daddy along the rail, followed by Shout Out. Down to the 16th pole, and it's Angel Cruz and Qui C'est Moi. And they're all alone. Qui C'est Moi, clear under the wire. Boss Daddy on the inside, second best over Sky Colors, and then came Kodiak Cody. Far behind, and they're into the stretch, and Jacopo is passed by over the speed limit, and Psychology is right in behind horses. And on the far outside, it's Third Frontier. Now it's over the speed limit who's pulling away. Opening up by 3 over Psychology. And then comes Third Frontier on the outside. Over the speed limit, and Arad Ortiz Jr. coming home a winner. Psychology second, and Bossman got up for third. Jackie Black taken on by Graham Crackers. Jackie Black's lost the lead. Graham Crackers, Lone River now, and Lone River runs up on the outside to take the lead. Amazing Ann trying to close through with the fence. Lady Bling is coming. Cosmic Serenity, Detail on the far outside. Also charging down the center of the course. Here comes Detail on the far outside. Lady Bling, Detail, Amazing Ann, Lady Bling, Detail, Lady Bling. Detail amazing, and then came Luna, Clean Cut Kid, Eric the Red, Giant Fox, 45, and 2 for a half, and Deceived comes to the 8th pole. 2.5 lengths in front, but here comes Old Upstart, who's closing in, and Old Upstart runs by Deceived. Then comes Clean Cut Kid, followed by Cost Effective, and on the outside, Eric the Red, Old Upstart. Under the line in front, Clean Cut Kid second best, and then it was Deceived and Eric the Red. Gets going, Mr. Manolo, and the loose sight behind horses. Vega finishing fast on the far outside. Private Relations. Vega storming up on the outside, but it's Private Relations in front. Vega, Fundamental, and here comes the Catman Can too on the far outside, but Fundamental is closing strongly. And here's Fundamental and the Catman Can. Fundamental. Tight second between the Catman Can and Andalusite. And fourth was
Fundamental at 4 to 5. Game winner of the last. Took him a while, it seemed, to really get going. In fact, I thought around the 8th pole he was in trouble at 360.
But, you know, I think that's more a function of the paces have been pretty slow on the turf, and horses are finishing. So even though you have a horse that's closing, it's going to take them a little while to get to the leaders.
That was the second win today for Klarovich and Chad Brown. Third win on the afternoon for Irod Ortiz, and a good-looking second-out effort for Fundamental. Colt by Arch, who's going places. We have not seen his best. Now, David Donk, you talk about these tight finishes on the Big 8 turf, and the sight lines here at Aqueduct are better than any other track that I can think of as far as watching racing. So we'll take out our binoculars and we get this furious finish down to the wire for our second look in the 7th.
This was just a terrific horse race. The first 3 horses, I thought, all got terrific rides. The 9, Detail, lost a little ground and came up a nose short, but almost won the head bob. The 7 got a tremendous ride. Manny Franco on Lady Bling for David Donk. And the 1 horse, Amazing Ann with Junior Alvarado. He did such a beautiful move at the head of lane, getting around a tiring leader and then ducking back to the fence without bothering a horse. It's a very, very tough thing to time and do well. Junior did it just right. His horse came up a little bit short, but it was a very Bailey-esque move. I just thought this was a terrific horse race with a lot to look at.
In a nutshell, how tricky is it to ride at a big field on this Aqueduct turf course, given the hairpin turns and the fact there is that portable rail with the 9-furlong chute at around the 3/16 pole?
Well, it is very tricky. You know, you want to save ground. You've got to stay in there tight, and then you've got horses that you're watching in front of you. Who's going to stop in front of you? Who's going to drift? Who's going to go on? So you're always looking for live cover. On the turf, it's a jockey's job to find the horse that's going to carry him through the field. Basically, you're the halfback, and that's your fullback who's going to make the hole for you.
All right, more stakes action to come on this show tomorrow. We'll have a good preview with some pretty good horses, including the Millionaire New York-bred Lubash, as we get on to the rider standings. Few guys put up some solid numbers today. A few multiple-win Saturday programs spread throughout that page of rider standings, and we'll give the I guess we'll give the gold star to Irod Ortiz today.
Yeah, Irod had a good day, 3 wins. He's riding terrific. Angel Cruz maintaining that 3-length lead on Jose Ortiz, but Manny Franco continues to cut into the margin. Cornelio Velasquez out of town today riding the Charlestown Classic. Luis Saez riding well. It's really nice to see this group of riders and a bunch of young riders, too.
And look at this group of talented horse people. Abigail Adset walked away with 2 wins on today's card, and she might be set for a big run at Belmont Park.
Yeah, it certainly looks like her stable's built up to the point and diversified enough where she should have a say over at Belmont. But, of course, it's David Jacobson, Linda Rice, Kieran McLaughlin, and Chad Brown up in the top 3 spots.
Just 3 claims, all of them, in fact, out of race number 6. A 3-year-old restricted claimer. The claiming price is $25,000 across. The winner of the race was over the speed limit, the 4. Nobody took him, but 3 other claims.
Yeah, well, the 6 was a popular race, and I always think this time of year people are looking for horses, Jason, that are going to excel at Belmont, maybe one-turn type of horses.
All right, that Sunday preview, Lubash, a Millionaire. The flowers are in bloom, and we hit the turf when we come back on Insider. Live money handicapping contest spicing up the action on Kentucky Derby Saturday, May 2nd, 14 days out. Can't go wrong with that. Nice grand prize and a lovely Derby day at beautiful Belmont Park.
Well, if you can't be in Louisville, what better place to spend it than at beautiful Belmont Park? And you can have great racing, live racing, and then obviously follow the whole live card at Churchill.
And we've got a ton of things planned, and just to tie up some loose ends on the handicapping contest, 5 $2 win-place show bets. on the Belmont races, and that's a contest that includes all 13 Belmont races and ends in the Kentucky Derby. Will pay out through the top 3 spots. You can sign up first floor of the grandstand for registration Saturday morning, and there you go, May 2nd. We will see you over for a big day at Belmont. Lou Bash, who's run some big races over the green stuff at Belmont. He's run well here at Aqueduct, too, and he'll make his 8-year-old debut in tomorrow's 4th race.
You got to love Lou Bash. He gets it done. He's consistent. Christophe Clement's had him in raging form all last year. And he was the New York Breeders' champion, older male on the turf, and looking to basically defend his title, I guess.
Yeah, 13th win could be happening for the guy who's made over $1 million. Standing in his way, the white-hot Mutant for Kieran McLaughlin as this horse comes back from Gulfstream.
Well, he's 1 for 1 at Aqueduct. I always like horses that are good on this course. He kind of looked like his form went a little south down there. Maybe he didn't like Florida. Maybe he didn't like the heat. I think you got to give him another look tomorrow.
And a layoff dating back to the Belmont Stakes undercard, the Grade 1 Manhattan for Chamois, the other Christophe Clement trained turf runner in the mix, 5-year-old son of Smart Strike coming off the bench.
Yeah, but you know, Chamois is just the thing that concerns you is only 2 starts in 2014. So do they have him right? If he's right, you know he's got ability, but his last race in the Manhattan against Grade 1 Company was so bad, and then he disappeared for that long layoff. Obviously, Christophe's not going to run him unless he's okay. He's got slow works, but they're steady works.
And he's run well shipping from his Belmont base to Aqueduct, and that is not a fact lost on Maggie Wolfenale, who's standing by with Sunday's Paddock Insider.
Thanks, guys. Well, down here in the paddock for a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Can only hope that Sunday looks and feels just as good. But taking a look at that Sunday card, going to go with some stakes action. The Dangerous Hour Stakes. And Christophe Clement will send out 2 in there. Heavily favored and fan favorite, Lou Bash, coming off of the layoff, the New York bred millionaire. But I'm going to take a look at his other horse. That is Chamois. And this Aqueduct turf course can be a little bit tricky. Some horses love it, some hate it. Chamois, he loves it. He is 3 for 3 here. And prior to going on the bench after running a disappointing effort in the Manhattan, you got to think that something may have happened in that race. So Christophe is very good off layoffs. And the fact that Chamois loves this turf course and the fact that he was in the prime form of his life last year, I think Christophe can get him back to his winning ways in tomorrow's Danger Hour Stakes. Guys, back to you.
We like those sons of Smart Strike on the Big A turf. Chamois to pull off the upset over his much more heralded stablemate in Lou Bash tomorrow afternoon in race number 4, the Dangerous Hour. We start the card at 1:20 p.m. We don't have to wait that long to game number 2 of Rangers Penguins. What do you think?
Well, what do I think? I think the Rangers take down game 2 as well, and I have a chance to actually get home in time for the first period with an 8 o'clock start.
All right, let's go Rangers. Thank you for tuning into the Saturday edition of Aqueduct Insider. 9 races tomorrow, 121st post, and have a great Saturday night.